Fellas, you know Degree Cool Rush deodorant, right? Well, last year they changed the formula, and guys were mad about it. One dude even started a petition. So guess what? Degree heard us, admitted they messed up, and brought the original Cool Rush scent back exactly how it was. And it's in Walmart, Target, and other stores now for under $4. So grab some and remember why its cool, crisp, and fresh scent made it the #1 men's antiperspirant for the last decade. Degree Cool Rush is back, and it smells like victory for all of us.
The last thing you want to hear when you need your auto insurance most is a robot with countless irrelevant menu options. Which is why with USAA Auto Insurance, you'll get great service that is easy and reliable, all at the touch of a button. Get a quote today. Restrictions apply.
USAA. Hilton brings you new ways to stay. With experiences that let you capture the glory days. Introducing the Graduate Hotels. Each inspired by local college towns, these stays are always original and never boring. Get in touch with traditions all across the country and enjoy a stay that's a class above the rest. Book at Graduate Hotels with Hilton Honors Points at Hilton.com. It's a win-win. Hilton, for the stay.
From the Fifth Quarter Studio in Madison, Wisconsin, you're listening to the Coaching Youth Hoops Podcast.
They're playing basketball.
Basketball.
Here's our hosts, Steve Collins. And Bill Flitter.
Hey everybody, welcome. So excited you decided to join us today. Before we jump into the podcast, I'd first like you to go over and check out our other podcasts, High School Hoops, the 5-minute basketball coaching podcast, Funneled on Defense. Just finish this one first and then pull the car over or stop your run and go over and check the other ones out, download all of them. And leave a 5-star review. We'd love that. But we would like to give a shout out to our two sponsors. First of all, Dr. Dish. I believe in this. I don't have a lot of sponsors that I talk about, and Dr. Dish is one of them. I believe in this machine. It is great. It has helped our team. You mention Coach Unplugged, and they'll give you $400 off. That's all. That's probably the best compliment I can give. Is a lot of people approach me about being me talking about them and being sponsors on here, and Dr. Dish. I believe in them so much that. That's why I do it. Also, go over and check out teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. It's the one-stop shop for basketball coaches. It is what I would have wanted as a young 25-year-old coach. I would have wanted all of these resources, and maybe it would have helped me win a few more state titles. I don't know. But from someone that's been a nationally ranked coach and had nationally ranked teams and won numerous state titles, this thing is everything you need to take your team to the next level. We offer a 14-day free trial because we believe in it so much. Go over and check it out, and let's head off the podcast. Yeah. All right, welcome to Coaching Youth Hoops, episode 14. All right, Coach, we don't have that far to go.
You know what I forgot to mention on our last episode 13?
What?
That was my basketball number.
You were 13?
I was 13. And you know why I was 13? Because nobody wanted it.
For the youth coaches, you'll know there's two things. For you, first of all, I was 10 and 20.
Okay.
10's my favorite number. But anyway, most coaches, like youth coaches, might not know this, but at least up until the collegiate level, numbers have to be between 0 and 1. You get to the NBA, you can have like a number 7 or something, but it's because officials have to be able to hold up the foul number. Yeah, because sometimes in the youth things you'll see like 26. That's not a legal number. Because an official can't hold up 26 to the scorer's table. But anyway,
what else? Yeah, 8. Isn't it 8? Is it 8?
Because you can't hold up 44 because that would be Anyway. Youth doesn't matter as much.
High school it
does. Yeah. They'll catch you on that. All right. So what's today? Today has to do with our Facebook group, right? A little bit.
That's right. Yeah. And it's there was a question. Oh gosh, did you throw that question out there? Yeah, I think you did. I think you put the question out there.
Oh, I'm going to pat myself on the back for people that are.
No. Actually, no. Sorry. No, it was. Looks like one of our members did it.
Okay.
Yeah. Amy Hermanson put it out there.
Okay.
And her question was, the hardest part of being a youth coach is, right? And we had 142 comments on that.
You know,
awesome.
Amy is my virtual assistant, so you know that, right?
Oh, no. So then you did do it.
So
okay. I didn't know that.
I told Amy to jump into the podcast and to do it. So anyway, yes. But anyway,
that's hilarious.
Yes.
There we go. So yes. So this was by you. What do you think the overwhelming response or answer was to that question? Again, the hardest part of being a youth coach is...
I'm going to pause for a second, let everyone listening try to say, what do you think?
What do you think? Yeah.
It
was over.
I would have gotten this right before it started. I knew the answer to this.
Yeah.
Like I asked the question, I had Amy ask a question that I knew the answer to before. Like I knew if I asked it, I might not get the same responses if she did. But it's parents. 100% parents. 100% parents.
Yeah. Parents. Number one. I mean, by far. Of 142 comments, I'm taking a guess, probably 120 of them. Something related to parents and communication. So today we're not just going to go, and we're just not going to go through all the comments. Of course, we're going to talk about we're going to talk about 3, and then we're going to address how, as a coach, can you take care of that problem? We're going to give you some solutions.
Right. I think the biggest key to parents is communication.
What does that mean, though? Right? I mean, that's obvious too.
It is.
It's
but you have to communicate your expectations, your pillars, what you're going to expect, so they're not surprised. So the biggest problem, because like, why did Susie not play as much, or why is so and so? So you have to be to the point of almost insanity in details. Like, here's when we're going to practice. Here's my expectations with practice. Here's what happens if you can't make practice, what you should do. Like, practice is going to affect playing time. In this tournament, I'm going to try to play the top players. In this tournament, I'm going to play everyone equally. Whatever it is you're deciding you want to do, because if they don't like it, they'll leave.
Right. Right.
And it's like, so you should have a meeting with them, and you should over explain what you're going to do.
What about doing this? What about as you're 3-4 games into it, maybe a couple of weeks of practice. What are you doing on a weekly? Well, let's just talk about it. What are you doing on a weekly basis? And what do you think the parents, I'm not going to say want to hear, you're not just going to tell them that they want to hear, but where does like all this back chatter and just, start coming from? Lack of communications.
I think it's.
What are they looking for?
I think it's 90% lack of communication, because why is my kid not playing more? Why is my kid not getting more shots? Why are we playing in that specific tournament? It's the why questions. And if I tell them the answer to the why, they can disagree with it. But then go play some. I mean, that's fine, but this is the way it's going to be. And this is how it's going to work, and this is how playing time works, and this is how our offense is going to work, and this is what we're going to do. So, and I think, hey, every Sunday you should be sending out an email. Here's what the week's going to look like. Remember, this is the competitive tournament. We're going to play this to win. People might not play the same amount of time. Remember, if you're going to miss practice, here's what you need to let me know. Remember that, Johnny and Susie should be doing this on their own and taking shots. Like, all that stuff is most youth coaches do not do that.
Yeah, I know you're absolutely right. And I think what's important too is, for example, because you're talking about youth coaches, your players have other
dads, right? They're like,
and they have kids have other things going on. So, but yet at the same time, coach, and this is, let's say I missed 3 practices. We have game now, right? I just had this situation come up. That's why it's fresh in my head. And the parents still expected that their player should get the same amount of playing time as everybody else. It's like, well, you just missed 3 practices.
And I'm sorry you got COVID, and I'm sorry you're sick, or I'm sorry you had a family vacation, or I'm sorry that grandma died. I get it, but this is the way as youth coaches you can help explain it is I'm not punishing your child. I'm not like holding them up. I'm rewarding the kids that are here.
That's right.
That came, that are working, that are like, they're showing up every day. They have other things they'd like to do too, but they're the ones that are here. So that's the first big problem is communication. Second one, I don't want to call it nepotism, but it's a little bit of like most of these youth coaches have a kid that plays.
Yeah, right.
And that's where a lot of the parent issues, because like, why is so-and-so playing more? Why is so-and-so? It's like, so I always say, hey, if you want to volunteer, if you want to help, if you want to blah, 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 great. Here's what you can come and do. And blah, blah.
That's right.
So you throw it back at them like, and in the meeting, it's like, yes, I am the father of so-and-so. And I am going to try to be as objective as, but if any of you also want to come and be an assistant coach or be a co-head coach or something, if all of you want to coach, that'd be great. Maybe we all take turns doing this. Like, trust me, it's not going to happen.
No, yeah. That was my number one thing I always said. If parents said, hey, why don't you do this, do that? I'm like, you sound like you're passionate about that particular thing.
Right.
Come on down. We practice. Here's our practice days. Here's our game days.
That shuts them up real quick.
They don't say anything. Yeah. I haven't had.
And I've said this too. I said we can all coach together too.
Right.
Like we can all take turns. I'll take the first 2 weeks, and someone else take the next. Because it's probably like no one's going to take you up on that. Trust me.
Yeah.
Because they would have already volunteered if they'd wanted to do it.
I've been
now,
coaching.
There's different things
years
between being a youth select AU coach and picking your team. There's a difference between that and the rec team. So I want to differentiate there a little bit. There is a little bit of a difference, but if definitely
let's talk about the AU competitive side of things then. Okay. And talk about community expectations there. I just paid $1,000 for this team.
Yep.
So I need to get $1,000 of value or more out of it, right? Mentality wise.
And to be honest with you, I probably get to play more because I just spent $1,000.
Okay, but now I'm sitting on the bench.
Right. So that's where
I'm getting in a couple minutes of the game. I'm not one of the better players on the team. So now do I vote with my, right? So right. You find a team that you're the better player on, that you're going to get more playing time. Right. I mean, but as from a parent perspective, and I think from a coach's perspective, I think the communication is even more on that particular because the stakes are higher.
Right.
I just shelled out $1,000 for this season. So, we need to communicate. You're right on that. Okay, let's go. So I think parent issues, that was the number one thing.
That's in its own category.
We could go on. Maybe we should come back to this.
We can come back. We'll come back and do a whole parent thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, that is in its own category. When this came, like I said, like Coach said, it's probably 90% of the answers was parents.
Yeah.
So that's obviously a huge.
And that's at every level. It doesn't stop. I've talked to college coaches. They have parent issues. I don't know.
Now with the transfer portal, kids are leaving. Yeah. It's like it's not going anywhere. Trust me. The NBA has parent problems. What are you talking about? People pushing parents at the game at the NBA level. Like, whatever. Okay. Yeah. Yes, it's every level. But before we leave this, one more thing before we leave this, don't ignore it.
Halliday presents in the red corner, the undisputed, undefeated weed whacker guy. Champion of hurling grass and pollen everywhere. And in the blue corner, the challenger, extra strength Halliday. Eye drops that work all day to prevent the release of histamines that cause itchy allergy eyes. And the winner by knockout is Halliday. Halliday, bring it on.
It's not going anywhere.
No, you got it.
Unless you're going to coach in an orphanage, it ain't going anywhere.
That's
and if you're going to be a youth coach, it's here to stay. So you're better off being assertive and tackling it than ignoring it.
Yeah.
You ignore it, it's going to bite you in the butt.
It's just going to, it's like a pot of boiling water.
Right. You're going to walk in Yellowstone without bear bells. Bear might come get you.
Yeah, that's right. That's a good
Hairspray.
analogy. I like that. Yeah.
I know. I'm thinking of
all right.
Yellowstone. I'm going to Yellowstone this summer. I'm thinking like, all right,
Oh.
God, I got to get beer belt, beer. Yeah, I got to. Anyway, that's what I'm thinking. All right,
Yeah,
go ahead.
You're almost all the way over to me then. Anyway, we'll come back to that.
Am I?
Effort.
Yellowstone? No, we're going to drive to Yellowstone. Drew and I are driving to Yellowstone.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Next was this idea. People said it multiple different ways, but it was effort. Like kids not putting in the effort. You know, either they're being forced to be there by their parents, or even when they get there, like I don't. They're just not. They're not putting out the amount. One coach even said once is they were soft, right?
Right.
You can't push kids today, and it's different, right? Think about one of your youth coaches. One of mine. I just remember this would he called me an oxygen thief. And you're just taking up space and
that's great. I'm stealing that. I love that.
I don't think you can say that today, right?
You know what I mean?
Today. Because my daughter always corrects me, Dad, you can't say that today. I'm like, is that really you know what I mean? And then you're like, really? Okay.
So effort. So I'm going to tell you something with effort.
Yeah, please.
If someone enjoys doing something, it's not an effort. Like this is not an effort. You and I doing this. Right. This is fun. This is not an effort.
I look forward to it.
I look forward to it. This is not an effort. When I work on my business or I work on things, grading papers is an effort because I really hate grading papers. It's the worst part of my teaching job, so I hate it. Yeah. But I do it. I have to do it. And do I jump into it? Is it like I wanted? No, because it's not something. So the effort, there's a relationship between the effort and when I used to computer program and do things like that, there's no effort. It was like when I'm editing videos or I'm doing stuff for my business, that's not an effort. I'm usually watching a movie and it's not an effort. It's fun. I enjoy it. Like I feel accomplished when I get things done. So I think as the youth coach, you have to think about if the effort's not there, then why? The why is the question.
Yeah.
Is it the way you're structuring practice? Is it the type of players? Is it the type of drills? Is it the type of things you're doing in practice? I mean, what's making the effort not be there? Because if they're having fun, the effort will, or they're enjoying the experience, or the people that they're around. I think the effort, there's a correlation there, statistically speaking, in my opinion. I don't know. What's your thought?
Yeah, no, I absolutely think, if you go back to some of these previous podcasts, we kind of addressed some of this effort issue in a roundabout way. We might not have said it, but your practice structure. Last week, we talked about practice structure in itself. A couple of weeks ago, we talked about the game, doing fun things, game-like things in your practice. Like I always bring, because I think it's an easy one to kind of think about is, king or queen of the court where you're just dribbling, doing dribble tag within the confines of the key, right? And you're still dribbling, but you're not saying hey, everybody line up on the baseline, left-handed pound dribbles, right-handed pound dribbles, crossovers. It's like they're doing all of that in this fun little game of tag they're playing, right? And it's still at the end result is still the same. You're getting them to dribble, they're learning dribbling skills, and I would even say it's even better.
And that's the whole small-sided game movement is exactly. Like when you're doing the 2-on-2 stuff, you're learning some of the skills, you're learning the reads, you're learning the screening, you're learning some of those things. And trust me, if my guys could play 2-on-2, 3-on-3 the whole practice, they'd probably do it. Like if I just
yes, yeah,
there'd be no effort. There'd be no effort issue, especially for keeping score. So I think I just think that's a huge part of that equation, I think.
I agree. So make practice fun. I think that's right. Make practice fun for the and the effort.
And that takes practice. That takes practice.
It takes a lot of trial and error to make it fun for your team.
It does.
Right? Your boys are different than my girls that I coach, right? And I need to motivate them differently than you do your kids, right? So you got to figure that out with that group of kids you're working with. To do that. So, all right.
And coach can help you. And coach can help you with those practices. Where do they find that, coach? Where do they find that?
Basketballpracticeplans.com coming soon. Get signed. I'm so excited about that. How long ago you and I talked about that?
I know. Basketball practice plans.
plural.com.
Okay. And there'll be a place to sign up there.
There'll be a place for you guys to sign up there. It's not live yet, but get your name on the waiting list.
It might be live by this.
So
we do these ahead of time. It might be live by then.
I got camps and everything else.
I'm going to put a little pressure on. That's why
you are. I love it.
I
need that pressure because I got to get that up. It's a passion project of mine, and it's just got to happen. So
and maybe we can do maybe as a bonus to you and I haven't talked about this off the air, but maybe we could do like a live for someone that buys it and stuff.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Talk about practices, have everyone come together and do like a Zoom. And like, what do you think in practice? And maybe in the late summers, early fall.
That's a good idea. Yeah. Well, the other thing too is I'm giving my perspective. I want to hear. I want to get your practice plan and put it in there. Right. I want to get some guy that Middle Tennessee. I want to get his.
So it's the place you go, and then you can look at all of them.
You can look at them. Yeah,
I love that idea. Okay,
the last thing on here then was team. So we had number one answer is parents. Number two was this effort. The third thing was team, and there was lots of different ways that people had said team, and it was building a team, recruiting a team, kind of the attitude of the team, the parents, how's the dynamics part of all of that goes along. Like what is the hardest part of being a youth coach is creating that team environment.
Well, I think it is. And I think it's sometimes you're given the team at the youth level. Right. It's like, here's your team. Here's the, the pandas or whatever, and you're going to coach the pandas or whatever. So I think there's all those. I think the hardest part is to try. This is the hardest part of coaching from someone that's done it a really long time, is getting a diverse group of people to come together. That's why they call it a team.
Quickly too, in a lot of cases.
And especially in youth, and it's less time. So that's where this is where I get the parents involved. We talked about parents being one of the biggest problems. Parents love to do stuff for their kids. So this is where you can build community and build team. Hey, could you do a sleepover? Could you do a go-kart thing? Could you do a water park thing? Could you do a team dinner thing? Even at the youth level,
they bringing food at the end of the game or to a practice after practice, or hey, we're all going to meet up, or
all that. Then they sit and they talk, and hey, what'd you think of Stranger Things, or blah, 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 and they talk about it, and all of those things. Depending on how you pick the team, like again, picking the team is an important thing, and parents and dynamics, but no matter what, let's assume all of the team is already picked. However we got to that point, I think building that community, building that team is big. I think it's. I
agree with that. And the other part of this too that I want to address was the recruiting. So either your player getting, this is a different type. This is a different level.
Is a higher level.
Higher level than right. But you're still like, I know I've gotten players that were good that got recruited away from me. Well, one, why did that happen? Right. So I had to evaluate that. Did I not provide, X, Y, and Z for them in that environment? But, there was clear frustration with coaches on the Facebook group about losing good players. And, one, it's tough, right? Because then it's like you have another competing group coming. Like, hey, Johnny, you're so good. You should be on, we're going to do this, that, and the other thing. And you're going to get all this stuff. And we're going to be traveling. It's like, I got recruited. Right. That's an ego boost. Yeah.
It's an ego boost.
Team, right. So it's hard. And it's, I just hate the fact that we're at that point, even at the youth level.
We are. Right? And we're at the third grade level. We're at that. It's crazy land. I hear you. So my theory is just be honest. Tell them what you're going to do to help improve their son or daughter's game, how you're going to do the best that you can. And if they leave, you don't want them. I mean, it's hard to do that, but it's like, okay, they're not going to be happy anyway. And that goes back to problem one. If you keep them around, they're going to be, that's the problem with parents sometimes is they keep them. Johnny's really good, but but the problems, it doesn't matter. Like it's better sometimes to rip the Band-Aid off and let it go, and then just let it heal and move on. Right. From someone that's had to deal with that. It's like, sorry, there you go. Yep. Hope you're
And I know it's when you're in the moment, it's tough. But, again, looking back, I'm glad all of those players, had left. Well, one, because it was better for them. It might have been better for them.
I've said that to more than in my high school program. I've said that to more than one parent. If there's a better, that's fine. Right. I want what's best for your son. Seriously, they think I'm crazy. It's like, no, if going to X is better, then go to X. Go.
Right.
That's fine. I'm not going to stand in your way. That's fine. Move on. Yeah. Move on.
Yeah, but the dynamics is important, building the team dynamics. Even if you are, you're a youth team and you have one practice a week, it's really important to build that, because you'll get more out of your players, going back to the effort, right? And then how do you do that? Communicate with parents, ask for parents' help. Little things mean a lot. A Gatorade prize for winning, the number of free throws goes a long way in building that team dynamics, right? Piece of candy you mentioned in your camps a lot of times too.
Oh yeah,
right?
Gatorades, little Gatorades, and go to Costco, baby. Go to Costco. I do own stock in Costco, so there's my discount. Okay. Anything else, Coach?
That's it. So coaches out there, good luck.
Yep.
If you have more questions about, the hardest part, just write us, go to our Facebook group.
We'll put it down below. And the last call, it's basketballpracticeplans.com.
That's right.
And Coach is going to have something for you by July 12th. So, you go over and check it out.
The pressure.
He's going to, he's got time. I'm telling you. So I've thrown the gauntlet down. All right. Till next week, Coach. Bye.
All right. Next week.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.